There are a lot of stories about conductors, mostly told by orchestra players. And one of my favorites is the one about Toscanini, who was a very great conductor, who had the ability to galvanize people to great passion and intensity and expression. And he also had a temper, famous temper. Apparently, when he did one of these temper tantrums, he took his watch and smashed it on the floor. I heard recently he bought them wholesale. Anyway, the story goes that in the middle of the rehearsal, he saw that one of the players in the double bass section wasn't playing very well, and he shouted at him, "You're fired!" This was in the days before the union. We can't do that now. But in those days, you could fire a musician without any explanation or recourse. That would be the end of his career. So this poor man had to go home, tell his wife he didn't have a job. As he left the room for the last time, he turned round and shouted at Toscanini, "You're a no-good son of a bitch!" And Toscanini shouted back, "It's too late to apologize." Now, that's the old style of leadership. It's top-down, hierarchical, right-thinking, and male. And it served humanity for about 75,000 years. Now, I used to be that kind of a leader. And not quite as extreme, but I was successful as a conductor, but I paid a high price in terms of the energy, well-being, and self-expression of the people around me. And then I had a quite extraordinary event that happened in my life. It was almost like a road to Damascus event for me. I was 45 years old, and I'd been conducting for 20 years or more. And suddenly I had a realization for the first time that the conductor of an orchestra doesn't make a sound. Now, my picture appears on the front of the CD. But the conductor doesn't actually make a sound. He depends for his power on his ability to make other people powerful. And when that occurred to me, it was so profound, had such an effect, that people in my orchestra said, "Ben, what happened to you?" And that's what happened. I realized that my job was to awaken possibility in other people. Now, it became from there a real question whether I was doing that. And the way you find out whether you're doing that is to look at their eyes. If their eyes are shining, you know you're doing it. And if the eyes are not shining, you get to ask a question. And this is the question: who am I being that my players' eyes are not shining? We can do that with our children. Who am I being that my children's eyes are not shining?